Hey everyone, today we are going to look at the installation of an Auxbeam gang switch on a 2020 Subaru STI. The reason why I'm installing because I have a lot of lights to install and I need a switch to control them from inside. I got two sets of Hella 500s, some DRLs, some Hello Angel Eyes, and I want to control all of them from inside, so I thought it would be better to install a gang switch. So there are multiple gang switches in the market depending upon what you can afford and what works out for you. The cheaper ones usually have a very bulky circuit box, and this is a significantly low profile and it really fits under it. I had to buy one and return one that was under $100 because well, the circuit box was super bulky. It wouldn't fit under the hood in the STI and there's no space. So I got this Auxbeam. This is not a sponsored video. I mean, this is just that worked for me. There are a few other brands. There's another one whose circuit box is silver in color, SS Pro or something, but it doesn't even say which line has how many amperes. But this one is very well designed and it has everything written very clearly, which is switch 1, 2, 3, 4, and how many amperes each one has, so which is kind of perfect. And it comes with a diagram for the connections. You got the fuse tab, you got some mounting hardwares, and here is a switch panel that goes inside. We'll have to find a good spot to mount it, and some screws. Also comes with a fuse so that you can connect the fuse in between the battery and the circuit box, and there's some additional mounting hardware under this, and here's the main harness cable and some more installation parts. So everything was under $200, and let's see how we get this installed. And another reason is like this Hella 500s, they come with some terrible switches, green color switches. With these are, I think, double pole triple throw switches. So it has got 3 positions, like the LEDs are on, and the second position is off, which is in the center, and the third position is like just the accent lights are on. So it has a terrible looking switch, green in color, and 3 wires hanging. So I'm thinking I'll just connect all of them to the switch box and control from inside. Okay, so the most challenging part of installing the gang switch is routing the cable through the firewall. So if I have to install it in another car, it may not be that difficult, but this is like super packed. And as you can see, there's a little bit of opening here, and there's some cables getting routed from here. Maybe those are good ways to do it, but well, I see a mark here and it's already cut open, looks like, but I don't want to use that and route all the way that side. Instead, there's a mounting point on this side, and we'll use that. All right, let's get to it. There's a way to route through this fender. You need to remove this cover, and under that there's a driver side harness that goes from under the tire well, the wheel wells, and you have to remove these, and if you go from there, I don't want to do that. So there's a Firewall Gourmet there, as you can see, a little bit of sponge is showing up there. So what I did was you see the yellow sponge, and right on top of it, it's partially eclipsed, covered. So I took a screwdriver, a long nose screwdriver, and pushed it a little bit. So it was super tight. I couldn't pull it out. My hands don't fit there. So there was no way I could have pulled it out, so I had to push it in, and it ended up in a state like that. So now I just need something pliers with a longer nose to pull out that rubber, and then I can route my cable through that Gourmet. So I have this pliers. I tried, it didn't reach there. It's pretty long. I'll see if I can find something longer in my tool shed, and I'll show you how I pulled it out. All right, it's a success. I was able to pull it out using this long nose pliers. Here is the Gourmet, and it's kind of, whoa. Okay, all right, so that's probably some kind of soundproofing or something, that sponge that I see. So what I'm gonna do is now make a hole here and route the cable harness for the switch inside, and then put this back and start pushing the cable in and see where it comes out. All right, so here's the Firewall Gourmet that I took off the STI, and this is the harness that needs to go through it. So what I'm gonna do is got a X mark here with a knife and route the cable through it, and then push that cable as far as I can, and hopefully it will come out from the right place. And all right, so here's the cut, and what I'm gonna do is push this thing. That's going to be a little bit difficult. I don't want to damage the Gourmet. All right, it's in and looks good from this side. So what I would do is now pull it like halfway this way, and now I need to push this inside through that firewall hole. All right, let's do it. Okay, I'm not very sure how far I'll get with this, but let me try and push it inside. Oops, came out, didn't make too far inside. Oh, such a tight space, look at it. Okay, I'm gonna try it once again this time. All right, we don't have success yet, but I used an alternate technique to find out where is that cable gonna come out. So this is something you use at your home to clean up your clogged up sink. So I used that and pushed it through that firewall, and I'm going to show you where does it come out. So we are headed in the right direction. That's good news. And let me show you where it comes out. And let me grab the light. As you can see, that's the orange cable, and it has come out from the right place there, the exact spot where it comes out. Let me try and get it. Okay, right in the middle of the screen, you see there is a break in that sponge which is yellow in color. We saw that same sponge outside, and that's where it comes out. So in the perfect location There's no errors, no mistakes. I just need a way to push that cable through and we should be all set. Okay, I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so this thing, my sink declogger, this thing went through because this is like kind of flexible and still hard. The cable didn't go through, it didn't come out in the right spot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this here. Okay, I'm gonna take, no, don't step on it. Not now, Baba. And I'm gonna,
no, I cannot walk. Can I walk in the video?
I'm gonna tape it here so that, you know, I can pull this through. So let me use some tape. And ladies and gentlemen, finally we have success. The cable has come through, and earlier I used some cellophane tape that was terrible, so I used some insulation tape and it really came out nicely, and it came out from the same spot where I showed you earlier. So what I did was I made a flexible joint between this orange plastic and the cable. You can see it can bend actually, so that helped it come through it. So basically I have the cross section of this cable here and the another one, this plastic ending here. In between there's some empty space where it can bend. As you can see, it can easily bend, and that helped it navigate through the extremely tight space, and it's here. So finally I'm gonna figure out a spot where I can mount it. I'm most likely interested in mounting it somewhere here. This is a good nice spot. In that case I need to route this cable through the cob access port mount. I can get some light here. Yes, so probably I'll make use of this vent to route my cable through, or let me figure out where I can mount it. Otherwise I'll probably look at the mounting gear and figure out a good spot. And I think this was the most difficult part when we're done with this. So the only thing left now is to make sure the connector, once I take off the tape, the connector 4 pins are intact. It did go through some pressure, but I hope that is all right. And we need to put the Gourmet back. So let me look at the tape. Let me take off the tape and figure out if the connectors are fine, and then we'll put the Gourmet back together. And then it's just wiring the circuit board, and which is super easy, and it's in the instruction manual. Okay, so I made up my mind. I think I'm gonna install it at this spot. So I'm gonna take this access port mount and cut a small hole here so that the cable can go inside, and I think this will be the best spot to connect, and I can easily access it. I don't want to drill any holes anywhere. The mounting hardware is good. Probably if it were a truck I would have used that. It's a small car and this is pretty much accessible. So I think I'm going to mount at this location. I'm going to take off this 2 screws with an Allen wrench, got a small hole here just enough for the cable to pass through, and connect it to the other end of the cable, just the way how we connect our access port at that location. And then I think I'm all done with the job inside the car. Rest is all just wiring near the battery box. All right. Okay, I thought about a little bit where to install the circuit box as well as the circuit breaker last night, and I think I'm gonna mount the circuit breaker to this battery harness, so this nut can come up, and I saw this perfectly fits here, and it's pretty rigid. I don't think it'll have any problem. I can tighten it down here, and then this one will connect to the battery terminal. I mean this one, and this one will turn around like this and go connect to the circuit box. And coming to the circuit box, I plan to mount the circuit box here. I marked 2 spots here, 1 and 2. That's where I'm gonna make the 2 holes and mount the box here and connect it. And all the extra wires we have, like this one and this ton of other wires and cables, those can all get tucked under the fender on the side, and maybe use a zip tie, make it go like this, and just tie them up all so that they don't keep rattling and make noise. So let me finish those, and then we'll start connecting the wires. Okay, as you can see, I'm done mounting the circuit breaker and the circuit box. So here's the circuit breaker. I use the same rod and the nut that holds the battery harness. I just removed that nut and put this inside and put the nut on top of it. It's super hard, and like, you know, it's not going anywhere. So, and I mounted, as you can see, I mounted the circuit box here on top of the fuse box cover. I think this is the best location. Everybody is doing it except some people who have trucks and they have too much space around the fender. They use an extra plate to mount it, but I think we are good this way. And all the cables can come under. As you can see, I connected the positive and the negative, and so all my cables are going to get routed through this way and connect to these different ports. So the next step we need to do is find out from the switch box which one fuse here gets powered on when we turn on the ignition. So we need to tap on that fuse and connect it here via the red fuse tap cable wire they gave. And so basically this circuit is going to get powered up only when the ignition is on, and there won't be any battery drainage. So let me find it out, and then we'll continue the rest. Alright, I think I'm pretty much done installing the gang switch. I believe it works. So quickly I'd like to show you what I finished. So this shorter cable comes from the battery, comes to the incoming point of the circuit breaker. Here's the outgoing outlet of the circuit breaker. It goes from here, and this is the circuit box. Let me take it off, and it goes to the positive terminal. The ground goes to the negative of the battery, or you can put it here behind where you have the ground location on the chassis, but I thought I'll do it because I had a feeling I'll drop that nut as soon as it's open. It happens to me. So that's what we did. This pin that has this harness that has 4 pins, this one actually connects to the switch that is inside the car, and this single one, this one actually goes to the accessory port, and this will go to the accessory port, and which is this one. And for that, the fuse step, what you need to do is bend it backwards. We just need one prong, not both the prongs. So you need to keep this prong intact. This one you bend it backwards, and this is where you connect for accessories. So if I'm not big mistaken, it has to go into this one like that, and that should be it. Okay, and let me put it back here and let's go and test. Right, as you can see, the switches are off. I have the keys. Okay, I left the keys on the table. All right. Okay.
It's coming to the
Still
Stockton
turned
Arena
off.
February.
Voila, it comes up. And pew, turn it off, goes off. Perfect. And I believe that concludes our gang switch install on a 2020 Subaru STI. It's going to be same for 2015 plus. So that fuse tap part was a bit tricky. So I looked at a Subi Speed video, and well, they had some information out there. I don't know, it seemed correct, but it didn't work on mine. It did look like a 2015 plus Subaru STI. They tapped onto this fuse, this 15 amp, and I tried that. No, it stays on all the time. So this is accessory, and this cable is called ACC. So ACC is for accessories. So tap into this accessory relay by bending the second prong like I showed you, and use just one. Even you can see it here, they have just one cable going on. So this one takes 1 ampere and it powers up the circuit, and only when this circuit is powered up, we have relays inside, and those relays will get activated and you'll have power here. The moment I turn off the switch, ignition off inside, this circuit is disabled and all relays are open. And so that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna just tuck all these cables in, and this is the Auxbeam. This is the Auxbeam gang switch. As you can see, this is what I installed. I just have one feedback. If they could have given this cable a bit longer, I could have beautifully tucked it under and put it. We can always buy this outside and do it, but for now I'm just gonna leave it like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And once this is done, I'll start taking off the bumper, and we have a whole bunch of stuff to install, like 2 sets of Hella 500s, some angel lights, then Hella horns, and let's do it, and some DRLs too. So I'll get started tomorrow morning. All right, thank you for watching.